All right, good morning, everyone. All right, if you can hear my voice, or even if you can't hear my voice, hopefully the spirit world will tell you to start taking your seats. We have some great seats up here in especially the second row. Hey, the first row is looking pretty full. Good job, guys. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, if you're outside, you can start making your way inside. We're going to have an amazing Sunday service this Sunday, as we had a great one last Sunday. We're keeping that tradition alive. Good Sunday services. But yeah, we're going to start off with some announcements. So let's welcome up our Pastor Justin.
All right. Good morning, brothers and sisters. It's good to see you here. Yeah, so grateful to be here on Sunday. I feel like every time it turns Monday, I'm like, when is it going to be Sunday again? So I really love seeing you all here. And yeah, just so blessed. First announcement is I got new glasses. Everyone was probably going to wonder and ask, so I just got to get that out of the way. Also, we're going to have our up and coming starting on October 8th from 4 to 9 p.m. So if you have any youth who are between the ages of 12, 11, and 18, please connect them with our up and coming, with our wonderful youth pastor, Stephanie. I'm sure it's going to be a really incredible year this year, as it is every year. So October 8th. Also, on our Belvedere family, if you're ever curious about our financial report, kind of where our money goes and all that stuff, we have a simple financial report that we put on every 3 months that is created by our wonderful brother, Charles Patterson. So if you want to check that out, go to our website. Yeah, let's give that a round of applause. That's pretty cool. BelvedereFamily.com/financial report. You can check those out. Also, our Sunday school is doing a wonderful job. When I say Sunday school, I mean my wife is doing a wonderful job. The whole team's doing a wonderful job. Yeah, let's give that another. So they are organizing a wonderful outing for our young people, our little ones, and also not so little ones, actually. It's going to be a climate adventure at the Palisades Mall on October 16th from 1 p.m. It is from ages 6 to 17. Also, toddlers can come as well. They have their own course, a little bit of a smaller course. But it's going to be a really fun time to kind of just get together and have fun as with families. And it's going to be completely free if you are registered into Sunday school. So completely free for you. Just a gift from our Sunday school team and their fundraising efforts. If you are not registered, you can still join for $10 per child, $5 for toddlers. And also, if you have kids or grandkids who don't necessarily connect with our community or Sunday school, this could be a really great opportunity to just invite them to something and have them feel like the church is just giving out a gift. I mean, $10 is 33% of the original price, so it's a big discount for them. And yeah, let them connect with other parents and other kids and just have a good time together. So that is, I think the limits is 40 spots, so they will go quick. Make sure that you register. There's a QR code on the screen. Also, there'll be one in the hall, and we'll send out an email for everybody. So also, we have our annual Worship in the Woods coming up. Yay! So coming up October 16th, actually the same day as the previous event that I just announced, is going to be Worship in the Woods. Theme is Harvest Time, and it's going to be a special interfaith worship event that we do every year, featuring music, a wonderful message, fellowship, and connecting with God through the beautiful nature. And also bring a favorite baked good. We will have some time to fellowship afterwards, and it'll be over in the woods, just over there. So also another great event to enjoy together, and also bring a friend if you feel called to. So I announced this last week, but I want to just really emphasize that next week is going to be kind of a special service. It's not going to be a service. It's going to be a workshop here at Belvedere, a 2-hour workshop where we're going to put all of the kind of content and ideas that we've learned for the past 5 sessions, sermons. We're going to put that into practice, into paper, and people are going to have an opportunity to create their own vision story. Just like we have a vision story for our community, you're going to create one for your own personal life, your family. So that's going to be a really powerful event. But yeah, I just want to emphasize this. Please do not come expecting a regular service. This is going to be special. Also, there is a registration fee of $15 for an individual, $20 for a couple, 18 and up. And you're going to receive a nice notebook for that, and also a lunch afterwards. So we're going to prepare lunch for everybody. Please register beforehand. I will send out the link via email. If you want to take a snapshot of this QR code, you can do that too, but I'm about to change the slide, so maybe no time, but I will send out an email soon. Okay, so we are also in the middle of a 40-day Unity in the Wilderness condition. We meet every single morning at 7:30 a.m. I give some love for that. People are having incredible experiences with this condition. No, I'm not joking. They're having incredible experiences. And it's very short. It's only 20 minutes long, from 7:30 to 7:50. We almost always end on time. Might have been one time we went a little bit over, but that was just because people didn't want to leave. I had to close the room because, okay, guys, go to work. Yeah, it's been really great, and it's always available to anybody. We will send out the link again to either. We'll try to send it out tonight as much as possible. But yeah, I did want to invite up a couple people to just share a little bit about what they're experiencing through this condition. Today, I wanted to ask, is Kester here? Maybe he's not here yet. He'll probably get here very soon. So before Kester comes, I'd like to ask if our wonderful sister, Hiroko Kavon, could come up to the stage. Let's welcome her up. Sorry, Kavone, right? Kavone. So, yeah, she'll share a little testimony about her experience. Let's welcome her up to the stage.
First of all, I have to apologize. My English is terrible. Maybe you may not understand exactly what I want to say. Oh, okay. Okay, so when Pastor came back from Korea and Alaska, he gave a testimony, and he came up with this vision. And I said, wow, he is guided by God. And I really want to support this community. That kind of feeling came to me. And then, okay, as Japanese, we play a lot. Not so much activities. But I was okay with that. But this time I said, okay, if I decide to support this community, I have to do something. Then I start to attend this 40 days condition. And in the beginning, he didn't make breakout room. I was just, okay, I participate. And then 30 minutes finished. And then he made 3 or 4 days later, we're going to break up and share experience about miracle. Okay, what kind of miracle I have? So I was so anxious to go to break room. And also first time I attended, Justin's parents was in the same room, then my phone didn't allow me to go into the, I couldn't speak, they couldn't see me. And then so next day I tried with my laptop and I went in. And I was so nervous what I'm gonna say. And then that time, the person who I share was Reverend Gardner, and then the Kester, who will share soon. And I don't remember what I said. But anyway, I felt, okay, I did it. And then whole day I was so different. Oh, I did this. Okay, now the challenge came to from him to speak to him this from another challenge. But anyway, through this sharing, I usually see in the Sunday service many people's face, but actually I don't talk to them. Mainly I talk to Japanese sisters. So I was, curious what they're thinking and then listening to them. It's kind of fun to share. So, yeah, that's what I'm getting from 40 days. Thank you.
All right, one more time, let's give it up for Hiroko-san. Woo! Yeah, when she shared her testimony, just that simple act of getting out of the comfort zone and sharing with somebody made such a big difference, right? I was so inspired, and I was like, she needs to share in front of everybody. I knew right away. Yes. Okay, so we're going to have one more testimony he shared this morning and deeply moved my heart. Let's welcome up Kester Wilkening.
And Annalise. Good morning, everybody. So I want to say two things. The first one is that, so I've been joining the morning Zoom calls, and sometimes I come to service, especially recently, expecting to be inspired or expecting to feel something. But sometimes it doesn't happen. And so I've been joining the Zoom calls, and today was like the 8th or 9th time I joined. And up till this morning, I hadn't really felt super inspired or anything, but I was showing up. And so sometimes that's all we need to do. We just need to show up. And often it's not whoever is up here's job to make us feel good when we come here, but it's our job to have the right perspective, and we can find inspiration anywhere. Doesn't have to be here. So the second thing was that this morning I was just during the opening prayer, because yesterday I ran 14 miles. 4,000 feet up a mountain, 4,000 feet down at a Spartan race. And so this morning I woke up and all of my typical barriers were gone. I was kind of like still like dazed. So I was just kind of raw, and my heart was open. So, and then I joined the call. Then from the first moment, from the opening prayer, I was really moved, and it wasn't. The prayer was the same as all the other 8, 9 prayers that I had joined, but I showed up this morning, and then my mindset was a little bit different, and then God was able to work with that. And the thing that I got from it was that a lot of people my age, sometimes we get stuck on with valid reasons, but sometimes superficial. We get stuck on, well, I don't really like the pink curtain, or I don't like, there's this person I talk to at Sunday service, and it's really hard for me to relate with them, or whatever it is. There are things we get stuck on, but that stops us from getting to the core, to the whole point of why we're here. And there are many people in this room who've been praying for 40 years. And so for me, that really struck me this morning, of like the depth of relationship with God. And that's not something that someone my age or younger can come to a a seminar today after service and learn and figure it out and start using it tomorrow, it just takes time. It takes a long time. And so for me, just kind of that depth of heart and that connection with God are really resonating with me this morning. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kester. One more time, let's give it up for Kester. Yes. Yeah, so awesome. What testimony. Yeah. Anyway, you gave a full meal. I think everyone can go home now. Okay, that was great. Actually, there's one more announcement I want to share today, and hopefully from this Sunday on, we're going to have babysitting in the baby room from our wonderful Cassie Honey, Steve Honey's daughter. I can't hear us, but let's give her a round of applause. So if you have toddlers, if you have grandkids, and maybe you know a couple that maybe said, "Oh, I can't really attend service because I've got this young kid that I can't really go in the room," right? So now we're actually going to have somebody who you can just put your kid there from ages, I think, like 1 to 5. Older than that, they can go to Sunday school, and they'll have somebody who is she's actually a preschool teacher, so she's fully trained in taking care of little kids. And you can just leave them with her, and she'll take care of them, and the parents can enjoy service. So that sounds good to everybody? Yeah. So yeah, miracles of all sorts are happening. And I think that's going to be it. Yeah, you can find out all this and more on our BelvedereFamily.com. And let's welcome up the song team to lead us in some songs.
Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? You can do better than that. How are you doing? Yay! So we're going to do some great songs for you today. Everlasting God, Light of Grace, no longer slaves. Remember, it doesn't really matter how you sing, how your voice sounds like. It's the spirit you give. You know, you can sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Or you can sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. As in. Okay? It doesn't matter. It's the spirit you put into it. It doesn't matter what your voice sounds like. It doesn't matter how if you have a cold or what. Just put your spirit. It's you. Put your spirit. God is looking for your energy. So let's stand and give him all our energy. Everlasting God. One, two, three, four. Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. Our God, you reign forever. Our hope, our strong deliverer. You are the everlasting God. Oh yeah. The everlasting God. You do not faint, you won't grow weary. You're the defender of the weak. You comfort those in need. You lift us up on wings like eagles. Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. Strength will rise. Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. Our God, you reign forever. Everybody sing. Our hope, our strong deliverer. You are the everlasting God. Yes, you are. The everlasting God.
not faint, you won't grow weary. You're the defender of the weak. You comfort those in need. You lift us up on wings like eagles. You are the everlasting God, the everlasting God. You do not faint, you won't go weary. Defender of the weak, you comfort those in need. You lift us up on wings like eagles.
Amen. The everlasting God. That was a great beginning. Great beginning. Oh, the light of grace that comes from our heavenly parents, from our God above, is intense. So let's sing this beautiful song, "O Light of Grace."
Oh, light of grace, shining above, lighting my day, oh, light of grace, easing my pain, you have shown that God is good. I'll give my life and my love unto the one God of love. Though clouds may come, hiding His face, hiding the snow. Though clouds may come,
Still He's there.
still He is there.
Shining brightly.
Shining brightly.
His love.
I'll give my life and my love to the one God of love. Amid the storm, tossed on the sea, beacon of hope, guide me. Amid the storm, shelter is near.
Trust in Him. Trust in Him. Trust in Him.
Oh,
God is love.
I'll give my life.
Oh, yes, He is.
And my love unto the one God of love. All things decay, passing away. Only the light shall remain. All things decay, still there is one.
Can you feel it?
True
And faithful.
faithful God.
Can you feel it? I give my life. Oh, and my love unto the one God of love. I give my life and my love unto the one God of love. Amen. Woo. Hallelujah. Amen.
last few weeks, it's really been inspiring. This 40-day condition, this opportunity to share in a vision, a shared vision. I hope it's been inspiring you as much as it's been inspiring me. It's been inspiring the song team, and I know together what we can do is ultimately free ourselves from shame, free ourselves from hiding who we truly are, our love for God. And please, I hope this song helps to inspire you to unchain yourself, to be able to open your hearts to God's love and open your hearts up to each other.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again into your family. Your blood flows through my veins. 'Cause I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I can walk right through it. My fears are drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I can stand and sing. I am a child of God. Sing with me. You split the sea so I can walk right through it. My fears are drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I can stand and sing. I am a child of God. Yes, I am. I am a child of God. Yes, we are. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. With a melody, you surround me with a song. Thank you. God bless.
You may be seated.
right. Again, beautiful, right? That spirit, so nice to really start off the morning strong. Even now with the announcements, so exciting with those testimonies. Man, killing it. That's great. Why don't we give the music team one more round of applause and the testimony givers. I think, it's really nice. It's more interactive. We can learn from one another. And also then, I think the songs really open us up, open up our hearts to receive this wonderful message that we're having. So if we could all join me in prayer, that would be great. Dearest, most beloved Heavenly Parent and true parents, thank you so much for this wonderful Sunday once again, where we could be here all together. Last week, we learned how we can really believe and trust in you, God, 100%, not only with our words, but with our actions as well. Really believe that we can give everything and really trust that you'll take care of the rest, and not to worry about our finances or what's going on in our lives, just to trust that you have our best interest, that you love us unconditionally, and that we should really have faith in that. And now today we're going to learn about how to really take that love and run with it and become unstoppable and really push forward and really do whatever we put our minds to. So thank you so much for everything that is happening. Thank you so much for our wonderful pastor who's been giving such a great message, really your word, God, flowing through him. And all I pray is that we can open ourselves up and really receive what he has to say. And that we can really spend this time together as one family with our brothers and sisters, really see people that maybe we haven't seen in a while. Even if we do see them every week, maybe take this chance to really talk to them, really get to know them and love them up. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I invite you to enjoy this time with us. And I pray it's my name and our names here, Denthi and Yasmin, a lyrical central couple, Jew. All right. And now, without further ado, let's put our hands together and welcome up our pastor, Justin Okamoto.
Thank you so much, Denthi. I feel like Denthi is getting funnier every Sunday, and also his prayers are getting more deep, right? Let's give it up for Denthi. And also just our music is so incredible. Thank you guys so much. Also, it's really nice to see Yuki there on the drums again. Let's give it up for Yuki. That's awesome. Yeah, and Raul and Justin leading the whole team. The whole thing is amazing. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So actually, anyway, I share a funny story. I feel a certain affinity to Justin. I think you guys know why. We we share something very important.
First name, guys.
Yeah, we're both named Justin, unless you didn't get that. But yeah. One of the things I like to do in my spare time is I like to find spouses for people. It's my spare time, you know. So I've successfully helped 2 people find their spouse, and they're blessed now, and they've got kids and everything, and it's just such an incredible joy for me to see that. But one of the things that I always tell people when they ask me for help is I give them a condition. I say, "You want me to match you? You have to do something for me." I say, "Oh, what is that?" I say, "You have to name your first child Justin." And so far, nobody has complied with my wish, but that's okay. Maybe they'll learn. There's power in that name. We'll get there. Okay, so good morning, everybody. It's good to see you again. We're continuing on this vision series with today's sermon on nurturing the vision. So we have already talked about dreaming big, where we announce the vision and really proclaim the vision, running towards the vision, where we looked at the different changes that we have to make in order to actually get there. And then last week we talked about being unstoppable, and really the key to that is really trusting in God, that God will do the work, and we just have to do our 5%. So let's talk about nurturing the vision. We want to make this vision a reality, right? A vision is kind of like a seed that you plant, right? You proclaim it, it's out there, you put it into the ground, and of course we want it to grow, right? But how do we allow that vision to grow and become a substantial reality? It's going to take investment. It takes love. It takes devotion, and it takes sacrifice and patience. And when I say sacrifice, I don't mean like sacrificing your happiness. I mean like maybe it means like sacrificing an hour of Netflix a week, you know, or an hour of video games a week. It takes a certain kind of sacrifice to make a vision a reality, right? So let's talk about this, nurturing the vision. Who knows what this stands for? Anybody know? It's an acronym, by the way. It's not a word. It's an acronym. Anybody? Oh, somebody in the back. What does it stand for? Oh, he got it. Awesome. Let's give it up. He got it. So it stands for the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Twide. The way you do anything is the way that you do everything. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that we can learn a lot about ourselves by understanding the way that we do just one thing in our life. If we really examine the way that we do that thing, how we do it, why we do it, how we go about doing that, we can understand the way that we do everything in life, right? So these past few weeks, we've been using the community vision, the community relationships as kind of an example, as a model. But I want you to just consider that the way that you do the community, the way that you live and act and be in the community is the way that you do everything else in your life. So, for example, if in your life, you're somebody who maybe has a tendency to look to the past and look back at Egypt, right? We talked about that. And if you find yourself doing that in the community, like you want to go back to the way that's comfortable, you probably do that also in your relationship with your spouse, the relationship with your kids. Maybe something changes and you want to look back and you want to go back. Or maybe you're somebody who tends to do things kind of passively here at church. You come and you kind of are just passively receiving something. It's probably the way that you also are with your finances, right? Maybe just kind of passively living with the way your finances are. So what this means is, the way we do anything is the way we do everything. But what that allows for is that when we just change the way that we do one thing, we can change the way that we do everything. So using this community experience as an example, if you can change the way that you are when you're here, like Kester shared, he changed his mindset and it totally transformed the way that he experienced those morning calls, right? So I just want you to all keep that in mind. So when we talk about nurturing the vision, really the best way to nurture this vision or any vision in our life is to fully participate in the vision, fully participate in it. So when we think about, for example, a soccer game, there are two distinct groups in this soccer game. What are those two groups? Good. Winners and losers? not quite that one. That's true too. Exactly. There are those who are on the field playing the game, and then there are those who are in the stands watching the game, spectating the game, right? So when we think about the people in the stands, right, what do the people in the stands do? They watch the game, maybe they have a favorite team, and they make comments about the game, right? They get excited when their team is winning, and then there's a goal, and they go, "Oh, we're winning!" And then when they win, they say, "We won!" It's like, you didn't do anything. They won. Everybody says, "We won!" Or sometimes, things aren't going so well, and they become very critical, and they say, "Come on, man, pass the ball. What are you thinking?" They get very angry, thinking that somehow this anger, this complaint, this upset is going to impact the actual outcome of the game, right? The players, on the other hand, they're actually in the game. They're actually playing the game. They actually have the power to influence the outcome of that game. They can change things. They can run faster. They can kick harder. They can strategize. They can think about things. And as a result, they can actually, influence winning that game. So this is obviously a metaphor. We're not going to be talking about soccer during this sermon, but when we think about our own lives, we have to think about, am I being a spectator to my life? Am I being a spectator to this vision and just watching it and being excited about it unfolding? or complaining about how it's not unfolding the way that you might want it to? Or are we actually getting on the court and playing the game and being a part of that? Again, this is a metaphor for the community, but also for our life. Sometimes we're just a spectator for our financial situation. We see it go up and down, and when it goes up, we're like, yay, it's going great. And when it goes down, we're like, oh, shoot, what's wrong? What's going on? This is terrible. When we're in our relationships or our spiritual life of faith, often what we do more likely than not is we're just spectating and we're commenting about it. We're just saying, oh, this is great. Oh, this is not so great. And the most that we do often is just hope. Just hope that things get better. But who actually gets to enjoy the fruits of the game? Is it the spectators or is it the players? Yeah, it's the players. The players get to earn the big bucks, right? They get to, if they win, they get a really nice trophy and they've got all these sponsorships. And also along the way, as they're playing, they're developing their skills. They're becoming stronger people as a result. They're getting stronger bodies, more fit. Similarly, it'll be the ones that are actively nurturing and playing a role in the community that are participating in fulfillment of this vision that are going to enjoy the fruits most powerfully. They will be the ones that will, as Moses, as it says in Exodus, to get to the promised land and experience the fullness of the promised land. So I wanted to take, first of all, an opportunity to, first of all, acknowledge a few people in the community who have been incredible players in both this vision, but also before the formation of this vision. We have people that have faithfully served in this community for 10s, 20, 30, 40 years, coming every single Sunday to make this happen. So I want to introduce a few and also give them an opportunity to share a little bit about their experience and what they've been getting out of it. Why do they choose to do what they do? And they're going to have 3 minutes each. So I'm going to put a little timer for them. So let's welcome up our first amazing player of this game, Charles Patterson. I said Charles Patterson, everybody, come on.
Morning. Justin said 3 minutes. I said, well, there goes that. I gotta rip up my nose and everything. But really, it's an honor to be here. The first advice the first thing I want to say to everybody here is don't volunteer. You don't have to. Don't feel that you need to volunteer for anything. If you come here, if you enjoy our service, if you enjoy the brothers and sisters and you're happy to see each other, if you enjoy the community, that's enough. That's great. So no pressure. You don't have to volunteer, But if you come here, you think, not only do I like these people, look at that, see, I actually tried to turn off my phone to make sure this wasn't going to happen, but I forgot. So, you said, I like the people. I kind of like the way things are going. Maybe I'd like to invest a little. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm not so happy with this. Those pink curtains. What happened to the blue ones we had years ago? Or it would really be better if the bathroom didn't run out of toilet paper, All these little things. These are all important. And this is even better. If you have criticism, if you see something that you think maybe needs attention, then you have a viewpoint that maybe other people don't see. You're seeing something that others may not see. So that is why your viewpoint is really valuable. But what's needed is that vision. So you need to be able to see, and have a vision of what you want to do. And you got to have a commitment. You stick to it. And then you have to be willing to work. Sometimes people say, oh, if you love what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life. That's not really true. You just have to love your work, and then you enjoy every day of your life. And I think that's what's important for our community. So I'm going to stretch a little bit. This past week, I had to go to Miami for business. And as you know, there was a disastrous hurricane in Florida. Miami was spared. Miami was south of it, so I had to wait to see if the flights were going through and this and that. But on the airplane, I met this young couple. And the young man was a supervisor for FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. They're the ones that come and help out in any kind of disaster or emergency. It turned out later that the young lady, she was from Rockland County originally, but they lived in Arkansas. They were volunteering to come to work for disaster relief. And so I asked her, well, how long have you been doing this? He said, well, 3 years. But then I realized, well, in 3 years, he's now a supervisor. So it doesn't take a long time to become proficient in something, you know? And then the wife popped up. I think it was his wife. She said, oh, and he's the third generation in his family doing this. So his parents were volunteering with FEMA and his grandparents as well. FEMA started in 1979. So what an amazing tradition. And you see this, and he was happy. They were happy to be there. They were like, we're going to be here for 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to, we've done it before. And they were really excited. So you can be excited about things like this as well. Some people's lives are busy. You may not have much time. Maybe you don't have time at all this month or this year, but keep an eye out. If you have skills that you want to develop, if you have some talent or something that maybe you can't do, like I was terribly afraid of getting up in front of crowds. And then years ago, we used to have the 6 a.m. service here for True Parents. And the song leader, Philip Shanker at the time, he was going to be moving away. And they said, we got to find somebody who can play guitar and who will be here every Sunday. But I was already helping every Sunday. So I thought, that's not me, But then I said, because the one thing I don't like is getting up in front of crowds. So I somehow raised my hand. I said, okay. And I did that for about 1.5 years, and I made a lot of mistakes. I embarrassed myself. One time I came out to play guitar and I had a brand new suit. I forgot to take the labels off. So I'm playing guitar, But the thing is, after that experience, I gained that ability, and it's paid off in my life many, many times. So don't hesitate. If you see something, it's kind of like, if you see something, say something. If you see something, volunteer, and your life will be better for it.
Thank you, Charles. Yeah, that was awesome. And Charles just does so many things behind the scenes. We have no idea how much he does. So, and the next person is also somebody who's given a lot for this community for a very long time. Let's welcome up Kanai Holtz. Kanai-san.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm a shy person. I'm gonna say 1 minute. I want to do volunteer because I'm a missionary. That is, I'm always thinking. True Parents sent me from Japan to serve here. So I want to do something for this country and then this community. So that is a main reason I want to do anything, especially now young pastor is our leader. So as like a motherly heart, as much as I can help, that's a basic thing. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanai. Or should I say, thanks, Mom. All right. So we have one more testimony, and you know him, you love him. Let's welcome up Raul Joseph.
30 seconds. So just like Charles, I hate standing in front of crowds. You'll never believe it. Oh, I don't like to talk. So why do I volunteer? Why do I volunteer? You know, when I was about 14 years old, in Guyana, we used to have these, our group used to have these big concerts at the National Cultural Center. There were like 3,000 seats. But this specific concert was a standing room only concert. So there were like 4,000 or 5,000 tickets, all people standing in the aisles. This is the first time I'm going to sing. I was so scared. I was hoping there was a blackout or something. But I got on stage and I sang the song. I don't know if you know the song, You Light Up My Life. And it was, all throughout the song, people were just like cheering and, interrupting with cheers and so on. And I was this shy little kid, not wondering, why are they so excited? Just let me sing and get off the stage quickly. And when the song was in, when we got to the end of the song, there was a huge standing ovation, eruption, and people were going crazy. And I had to come back out. You dreaded, you go in, you want to go and run away and hide. No, you have to come back out and do a second bow. And I realized something, they were enjoying it. I was giving them something that they were really enjoying. And that felt so good. Not so much that they liked me, because I really couldn't care less about that. I just felt so much that they were enjoying this. So it's this giving thing, give them more, and whatever they got from it, they left the theater and they really remember that it made their lives a little better. So for me, all throughout my singing life, the thing I focus on most of all is how to give the energy to make somebody feel happy. Because you don't know what people are going through in life, and you may just say something or sing a note or anything, and it inspires them to make change. But at the same time, they're giving you back something. They're giving you some kind of, even if it's just 10% of energy, that make you want to give more. So that's basically what I enjoy. That's why I like to volunteer here. St. Francis says that it's in the giving that we receive. So there you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give it up for all of our volunteers that shared. And also, just to show our appreciation, we will have a lunch. We have a small lunch prepared for all the volunteers after service, just for free, just to appreciate everybody who's been giving so much. So please enjoy that. So what I'd like to do next is to take an opportunity to reflect for ourselves about our own gifts. What are the gifts that we've been given in our life? And if we could start passing out those little cards, that would be great. So I believe that everybody, no matter who you are, you were born with some kind of talent, some kind of gift. Even if it starts as a seed, that it's something that can manifest and grow. It could be just something about your personality, your character, something that you don't even realize is amazing about you. But I believe every single person has something that God has gifted them with. And we want to discover that, okay? So this, we're gonna do a little reflection of our own gifts. And you're gonna get this little card that's gonna have a list of potential gifts. These gifts are more tailored towards, things that we could potentially offer to the community. But there's also a little comment box that I want you to write anything that's not there. Also write it there. It could be, again, a personality trait, or it could be something that you feel you're good at. It could be, Denth, you mentioned that board games was not on the list, which totally could be on that list. If that's something that you love, that you're good at, that you're passionate about, please write that down. And this is going to make the rest of the whole message a lot more real for you. You don't have to hand this in if you don't want to, but I want you to at least write the answers down so that you can be more engaged with the talk, okay? So yeah, we're handing those out now. So please enjoy. Yeah, and we'll have about just a couple minutes, just go through it quickly. And again, write comments, write your name and your email address. Again, you don't have to hand it in if you don't want to, but just do the activity. And also, what I want you to do is check off the things that you can do that you may be good at, but then I want you to circle the ones that you're really passionate about, the things that you love doing, okay? Because I want to know that too, because ideally, we're all giving not just what we can do, but what we love to do, right? That's what we really want to create, that kind of culture, okay? So yeah, please, yeah, enjoy that. And then after, we'll have a little bit of time to share.
Audio visual, like what Charles does. Like what Charles does.
Also, I just want to encourage, check off things that maybe you don't know that you can do it, but you might be interested in that, right? Like, I've never done ushering, but I'd like to develop my people skills, or whatever that might be for you. Okay, so if you're not done, that's okay. You can continue writing. I just want to ask, if people are done, if you can just shout out some things and shout out some of your real gifts, not necessarily greeter usher, but shout out something that's a gift for you. Okay, so
I'm a great driver.
Great driver.
I love doing it. You might not like driving, but I love doing it.
I love driving too. I totally get that. I totally get that. What else? Okay, good at playing music. Awesome. What else? Cooking. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Raul's a good cook. Okay, Nini?
Baking.
Oh, baking. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I thought another one. Yeah, Christine.
Giving massages.
Oh, I'm going to talk to you. Okay. What else? What else?
Not shy in front of people.
Not shy in front of people. Yes, that is very true. We saw you on the other day. That was great. Anybody else? Let's get a couple more. Yeah, Andy. Poetry. Yes, Andy is an amazing poet. Anybody else? One more person. Yeah.
Taking care of my wife.
Oh, that is a good one. That is a good one. Let's give her some good brownie points for that one. And Marina, you could be the last one.
Resources for people who need it and teaching about it.
Okay, awesome. Finding resources for people that need it and teaching about it. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for doing that short activity. So now that we've kind of identified that we all do have some kind of gifts that we could offer potentially here in the community or just in your life, right? We want to talk about what stops us from sharing our gifts, right? I think this is a very important question to answer because it's not like now you write down a paper and all of a sudden you have gifts. You've always had these gifts, right? So what stopped us from contributing our gifts in the past? And to do this, to share about this, I want to first of all read a parable from the Bible. I think you all know this one. This is the parable of the bags of gold or the talents. So let's read. Again, it will be, so Jesus is kind of explaining about what the kingdom of heaven would be like. And he says, again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one, he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more, but the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. And then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has, and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So, wow, that's kind of, wow. When I first read that, I was like, what? This master sounds like a real rough guy. But anyway, I'm not going to throw anybody out for any weeping or gnashing of teeth. But we do have to remember that the stories of the Bible, they're there to teach us a certain lesson, right? A lesson about God's will, about God's desire. It's meant to allow us to understand a certain aspect of God's heart, and this particular passage, we have to remember, was meant to drive in a point to the people of that time, right? Sometimes you got to be real clear with people when they've a little bit thick-headed, right? So we got to remember the context of that. And this parable can be taken many ways. Often we read this parable when we talk about investing or money. But in our context, I think that we can really see this as how God blessed each and every person. That gold is our gifts. It's each and every person. God has gifted something very special, and to each his own. It could be some kind of, again, talent, innate ability, or even a character trait, or even just a part of your personality that was meant to be used and invested to grow and increase in joy. increase in happiness, not just joy for ourselves, but for joy for everybody else around us. And the amazing thing is when we invest and we give, we actually receive more, right? We are strengthened in our strengths, strengthened in those gifts. We get to become better as singers, as dancers, as artists, as AV guys or girls, public speaking, whatever it is. When we offer that, we become better, we increase. However, what a lot of us do, and including myself, I do this too, is that we tend to hide our gold. We tend to hide our gifts. And because we hide them, that we are unable to strengthen them. Right? They stay at some small state, like a seed that does not get to turn into a plant, a tree. And they are unable to multiply and unable to create more joy. So what happens as a result of that? What happens as a result of that is we end up feeling worthless about ourselves. We end up feeling worthless because we look around and we're not bringing joy to others. And so our conscience is kind of having us start to feel guilty. So when I hear about that worthless servant, I don't believe God is someone that would call somebody worthless, but probably that servant felt kind of worthless about themselves, right? This whole idea that you can feel good about yourself by just having an environment that tells you, you're perfect the way that you are. It's a very nice theory. It's a very nice idea, but it's just not a reality. It's just not a reality. If we really want our children to discover their unique value, their worth, we need to help them to discover their gifts, the gifts that God gave them, and guide them to empower those gifts, to strengthen those gifts through giving to others. And then when they see the joy in other people's eyes, when they see the smiles, that is the reinforcement of that identity of their worth, of their value as a child of God. It becomes real and substantial, and they feel it inside of their heart. So let's go deeper into why we do not share our gifts. I want to just kind of bring up this idea of a false gardener versus a true gardener. So who here gardens? Anybody a gardener around here? Oh, we've got quite a few. I am not a gardener. So when we talk about a false gardener will maybe plant a seed, maybe wait for a few days, and when they see after a few days that it's not producing fruit, they're going to get frustrated. And they say, what's the point? What's the point of this? And they might even start criticizing that plant. Say, or they start criticizing themselves or God or the weather. They'll say, this stupid plant, even though I gave it water and soil, it's still not sprouting. What's wrong with it? They want to see the fruits before they're willing to fully invest. They have no faith in getting a return if they invest faithfully. So a true gardener will plant that seed and then trusting that God will work, that the principle will work, will patiently and lovingly water that seed, fertilize it, protect it from insects, and learn from others how to better care for it. They will have faith that even though this plant is just a small sprout right now, they have faith that it can grow into a big tomato plant or a big apple tree. And finally, there will be a day that they can enjoy the fruits of their labor. So we have to ask ourselves, are we a true gardener or a false gardener when it comes to our vision? When it comes to our personal vision, the community vision? Are we waiting to see fruits first before willing to give and invest? And I'm not going to give another tithing message, but tithing is a good example. Many times I hear people say, well, I'll start tithing when the church gets its act together, right? I hear this many times. When the church starts doing this or starts looking this way, when we have a nicer looking hall or a nicer fellowship center, or the music gets better, which is amazing right now, then I'll start tithing. Rather than trusting that through investing, through giving, that the community will be able to grow and prosper into something that we actually want to see. Again, this is just an example. Just an example is not another tithing message. Don't worry. We also do this, though, in our relationships. We'll say, I'll start loving my spouse when they're more nice to me. when they start listening to me, then I'll listen to them. We'll say things like, I'll start telling my wife how beautiful she is when she starts putting on better makeup or wearing better clothes. I don't say that. I'm just saying some people say that. Or, my wife, I'll tell my wife how hot she is when she starts acting that way. Just being very honest. We do these things. We say these things. If there are kids not in this room, I would say some other things, but I will resist that. Anyway, if you want to know how to have the most amazing lovemaking in your life, tell your wife, your spouse, how sexy they are. I'm just being honest, okay? It worked miracles in our life, okay? So I got to tell you the good news. Okay, so we do this, again, with our finances, right? We say, okay, I'll start investing money when I have money. I'll start getting that education when I have the time. Again, the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. Oh, I just got all hot. Okay. So be a true gardener in the community, and it will transfer into your life everywhere. Okay. So next, I want to talk about a little bit of a deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper. Reason why we do not tend to share our gifts. Okay, so a big reason why we fear that what we want, that we fear, the reason why we don't give our gift is because we are afraid that our offering will be rejected, right? Rejected by others, people won't appreciate it, the pastor won't appreciate it, my wife won't appreciate it. It's not just the thing you want to offer though, right? It's not just like, oh, they won't appreciate my singing, but we equate rejection to a rejection of ourselves. Like they're rejecting this person, Justin Okamoto, not just my singing or not just my speech or my sermon, but they're rejecting me as a person, my whole identity, this being. For a long time, I was terrified of singing and performing in public. Why? Because, I was afraid that my voice would be rejected. But not just that my voice would be rejected, but if they rejected my voice, that would mean that they're actually rejecting me as a person. And if they reject me as a person, then that means that I am not worthy. And I'm not worthy of what? I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of love. It all comes back to our fear of being unworthy of love. Let me ask you if you've ever felt the fear of your offering being rejected. And remember, your offering, it connects with ourselves. So if you've ever felt in your life like I'm being rejected, let me just see show of hands if you've ever felt that way, that fear of being rejected, raise them high and proud, everybody. Raise them high and proud if you've ever felt that way. Look around. Wait, just keep them up and just look around. Look around. Oh, looks like we're in all good company. Hello, family. So isn't that kind of interesting that almost every single hand went up, that we've all felt this fear of rejection, which is a fear of not being loved? So do you know what that means, that we all share that? What does that mean? How can it be that every single one of us in this audience, probably every single person that you meet on the street, would raise their hand for that? We think we have the same exact fear. We have the same exact thought. Well, let me tell you why that is. It's because it's not your thought. It's not your fear. What I mean is that you did not make it up. You didn't make up that I'm being rejected right now. I'm afraid of this rejection. You inherited it. You inherited it. We all inherited it. It's a thought, it's a fear that is in your lineage, being passed down from generation to generation to generation, getting strengthened by the culture, by our families, by our personal experiences. So I want to say the good news is that you didn't make that up. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you felt that fear. It's not like somebody laughed at you one day when you were very young and you were singing, and one day somebody laughed at you, and you decided you had this amazing, unique idea that never anybody ever thought of. You had this amazing idea that this means that I am rejected, unworthy, and unloved. Wow, what an original thought that would be, right? No, that thought existed before you existed, before you even were here. So where then did that thought originate from? This thought, this fear, is as old as human history. We all know about the story of Cain and Abel. You know, the story of Cain and Abel is not just a story about, two brothers in the beginning of history. It's a story about our lives. It's a story about our lives. It's a story of feeling our offering is rejected, equating that to us being rejected and being unworthy and unloved, and blaming something or someone else for it, getting angry, and eventually making efforts to try to destroy or kill the thing, institution, person, etc., that we feel is at fault. Let's read the story of Cain and Abel, but this time really reflect on how does this relate to my life? So it says, now Abel kept flocks and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord, and Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? If you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." So here, God is actually trying to explain to Cain, Cain, this is not a personal attack on you. This is not about you and your value, your worthiness as my child. The offering's acceptance is actually not a representation of God's heart of love towards Cain. It did not mean that God loved Cain any less. God is trying to explain that it is a matter of principle, Cain. It is not about you. It is a matter of the proper order of the universe. It is a matter of going through the right process to learn the ways of God. Father Moon further explains this. He says, if Cain had even the slightest desire to go through Abel, who represented heaven's position, then God would have taken Cain's offering. Even if there might have been a difference in time, he wanted to relate with them from the same position. The same position. Father Moon says, right, he wants to relate to us all the same. He wanted each and every one of his children to receive God's endless and unconditional love equally. God's heart never changed towards Cain, but God could not deviate from the principle. Even doing so would make God a promise breaker. In other words, a liar. And not only that, but it would set us all up to justify our own lying by God's example. So no matter how painful that was for God, this whole process for God, he had to keep his principle. He has to remain as a standard for the principle so that humanity, all of us, can even have a glimpse of hope in our own lives for our own restoration. It is because of God's unconditional and unending love that he could not accept Cain's offering. He could not accept your offering. He could not accept my offering if it was made in an unprincipled way. Further, it says, now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." While they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Instead of realizing God's heart, Cain just felt this is a personal attack on me. He felt it was an attack on his value as a child of God. Cain took it very, very personally. Not only does he take it personally, but he blames his experience of unworthiness, his feeling of unworthiness, on his brother. He gets these thoughts in his head. Oh, if it wasn't for that stupid little brother of mine, he ruined my life. You made me look bad. I had no choice but to kill him. Then in his rage, he kills his brother, the brother whom he was actually supposed to receive God's love from in a substantial form. Afterwards, experiencing that sense of rejection, Cain probably said to himself, I am never going to put myself in a situation like that again. To have myself look stupid like that, to be rejected. I will never do that again. Does that sound familiar? How many of us have made that same decision when we sang a song when we were 5 years old and a sibling told us to shut up? Or we gave a sermon at church and someone said, you know, you said like 1,000 times. Or it could be even that we give a sermon and every single person doesn't get on their knees and bow down in gratitude. That could be a sign of my offering was not received. Cain's actions, and more than his actions, it was the conversation in his head that drove him to madness. Eventually, he goes on to live a very, very lonely life. A life wandering from place to place, paranoid of people killing him, never quite feeling at home, and always searching for a place to belong, not knowing that that place is with God. The pattern of the feeling of fear and rejection, and that's the fear of I'm unworthy, that I'm bad, that I'm lovable. Then after that, it goes into blame and justification. We find reasons to justify this feeling. And we say it's that person's fault. It's their fault. We blame it on others, on our upbringing, our environment. Often we blame it on the very people that God put in our life to receive love from. And from there, we go from blame and justification and to anger and to a desire to kill. To kill. Now, you might say, I've never had the desire to kill anybody. Fair enough. However, to kill someone or something does not necessarily mean just to physically kill that thing or that person. Often it's more of a spiritual killing. It's trying to destroy someone else's joy, trying to destroy someone else's happiness, trying to destroy someone's happiness by spreading rumors about that person and convincing others how bad something or someone is because of our experience of fear and rejection. Many people do this with the church, with the community. Even though there are some people who have had incredible loving experiences in this community, experiences of God's love, including myself, but they feel rejected. And there's no fault to feeling rejected. Again, it's inherited, it is not their fault. They wanted to offer something and a leader says, no, you can't do that. Or another member says, that's a really bad idea, don't do that. More likely than not, the offering is simply our presence. We feel our presence was rejected. Nobody cares that I'm here. What is that feeling? That is the feeling of fear and rejection. Then what happens? We try to find an explanation for that. Well, it can't be me. It must be the community. It must be GPA. It must be true parents. It must be my pastor or my youth pastor. They made me feel this way. They rejected me. They didn't love me. This feeling of unworthiness is their fault. And then what happens next? The killing begins. They start to take action in anger to kill the church, to destroy the community, to destroy the pastor's reputation, and to turn the crowd against that leader. They do it through sharing their story of trauma and rejection with others and the blame, share how evil this community is on social media, share how the church has ruined their lives, not caring about who it hurts in the process of doing that. Of course, we know that Father has talked many times about Abel's arrogance, right? And how big of a problem that was. And how much Abel actually contributed to that situation greatly. And I'll be the first one to say that the church, the community, is not perfect. It's far from perfect. I am not perfect. I am far from perfect. However, when we have an issue with somebody, we should go to the person we have an issue with, or go to someone that can actually provide guidance and love to us. Someone who's willing and able to fully understand and receive what we want to share. And ultimately, we need to go to God. We need to go to God for guidance and love, and find a way to fill in the gap that we see in the community, or in the pastor's skill set, or the pastor's knowledge, or the pastor's ability to love, to figure out a way that we can fill in that gap. So we have to ask ourselves, are we killing the community? Are we killing God? Are we killing true parents? Are we biting off the hand that feeds us? Okay, that was kind of heavy. So now I want to say, again, none of this is your fault. None of this is your fault. You have to understand that very clearly. You inherited this. You did not make this up. You did not start this. However, the thing about fault and responsibility is that they are not the same thing. Fault and blame and responsibility are not the same thing. Something cannot be your fault, and you can take full responsibility that you be a part of the solution. You can be the one in your family, in your lineage, that says, the buck stops with me. No one else in my lineage is going to have to deal with this problem. I will resolve it so that no one else has to. So how do we do that? How can we restore our original self? Really, this is about restoring our identity as a beloved child of God. This is about clearing the idea that I'm unloved or unworthy or unaccepted, rejected, and embracing the truth that I am loved, I am worthy, and I am accepted. I'm a child of God. And there are 2 steps in that process. Kawaii ne. Yes. The 2 steps are faith and substance. And these 2 steps are sequential. You cannot skip the first one and just go to the second one. You cannot have true substance without first having true faith. Faith and substance can also be called trust and then action. Trust and then action. So first of all, we have to have faith that God actually does love us. That we are actually loved, worthy, and accepted by God, and also by God's representatives, the people in our life. We have to pray deeply and study God's word to understand his heart around us. And we have to have the courage to trust. The courage to trust. Then we can't just stay there, because if it doesn't turn into action, then it just becomes a nice emotional moment. And it will pass away. We have to listen to God's guidance sometimes, that is through direct communication. And sometimes God speaks to the people that truly love you. We call that person an Abel. When we actually take action to start to develop, we develop our gifts. You know, the best way to become a great singer is to sing. If you want to be a great lover, love. Over time, as we take actions, we start to rewire our brain. There's actually studies that say your brain starts to rewire itself when you take action. And eventually we gain confidence and we start to see how other people really appreciate us and our developed gifts. Our external reality starts to manifest the eternal internal truth. There's an internal truth. There's a truth that you are worthy, but it has to manifest itself externally, substantially in the world, so that you can every day be reminded by the smiles in people's eyes, in people's face, be reminded of your worth and your value. So I want to share just a real quick story about this happening in my life, about rediscovering my sense of worth, my sense of being a child of God. And I want to say that, sometimes we think that the principle is only kind of experienced through like religious activities, fundraising, witnessing, going to church. But the principle can be experienced through anything. The principle can be experienced through going to a rock concert. So I went to a rock concert this past Friday. And this was a band. This has been my favorite band the past 5 years. Since I was in Japan, I learned about this band. This is a Japanese band, One OK Rock. And my God, I was so excited. So let me tell you how I ended up going to this concert. So I was at home, just kind of scrolling, listening to this band. And then I saw online that they were having a concert in America. It's like, wow, what are the chances that they're going to have a concert in America? They're from Japan, right? I look, where is this concert taking place? I look at the name of the venue. What do you think I saw? The Hammerstein Ballroom at the Manhattan Center. I was like, that sounds really familiar to me. Wait a minute. And I thought, could I go for free? And I said to myself, well, we own the place. Why not? I am a child of true parents. Why not? So I have faith and I trust. And I sent an email to Marcus Carr, the CEO of Manhattan Center. I say, Marcus, I know this is coming completely out of the blue. We haven't talked in a long time, but I need to ask you for a favor. My favorite band is playing the Manhattan Center. Can I get 2 tickets to go with my wife? My heart's beating. What's he going to say? He's going to call me selfish. Well, how dare you ask for free tickets? 20 minutes later, I get an email. Oh, you want free tickets? Oh, yeah, sure, we can do that. I'm like, hallelujah! I'm like, really? Oh my God, this is amazing. I'm like, gonna cry. And I send him, I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. And he says, oh yeah, no worries. He's like, just give me a minute. And I hear back from him like 5 minutes later. He's like, okay, when you get there on the day, go to the security desk, pick up the tickets. If you have any trouble, just call me. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. Okay, so that was like a month ago. So finally, I'm just so excited leading up to this concert. Friday night is the night of the concert. And I go there. And we also go with our good friend, Ira-san. Had a great time there with my wife and a friend. And I get there, and we were waiting in the line. Finally, get to the front, and I'm kind of like, okay, where's the security desk? How do I get a ticket? I go to this booth. I thought it was the security desk, and they said, oh, we don't have tickets with your name. I was like, what? What do you mean? You don't have tickets with my name? And then I was like, this is the security desk, right? And they say, no, it's over there. So I go to the security desk. And I talk to the lady, and she says, we don't have your name. But who is your friend? Who invited you? And I said, oh, Marcus Carr. I said, oh, Marcus. Oh, Marcus gave you the tickets? Okay, here. So she just gives me these 2 tickets. So we get there, and we're like in the west side box seats. These are like the best seats in the house. And we're there, and there's like, we've got this box that could fit 20 people, and there's like 4 of us there. So it's like almost like a private show. And we're just so happy because, we don't have to be there on the floor getting all sweaty with all the big crowds. And my God, it was so incredible. See that smile? That was the smile for about an hour and a half. It maintained that smile. I was so happy, so excited to be there. And, when I was listening to these songs, it was like, my favorite song came up and like, just give me a reason to give. And I'm just like jumping up and down, getting so excited, feeling the energy. And the whole time, I did not sit down on the seat once. I did, but for like a second. And I just had to get up and start jumping and jumping and jumping. Like, oh my God, my life is amazing. And I well went over my exercise limit for the day. So that was cool. And then at the end of the concert finished. It's like 11:30 at night. And we're getting ready. We're starting to head out. And as I head out, all of a sudden, one of the staff members comes up to me. And she said, I saw you. Said, you look like you are having the most fun in this place. And I was like, this is my favorite band. I am so happy to be here. She was like, I can tell you're happy. That was amazing. She was watching me this time, just seeing me jump and being totally free and singing and and she noticed it. To me, that was kind of like a moment of my offering being fully received. I gave it my all. I enjoyed with all my heart this concert. And, finally we get home and I'm just kind of basking in the amazingness of this experience. I took a moment the next day to kind of reflect on the whole thing. And I really realized that, I was able to be at that concert, not based off of my actions or what I've done, but purely because I am a child of true parents. I realized, wow, true parents bought this place for me, for us, so that we can enjoy it, that we can get married in it. They had us in their hearts with everything that they did and all that they invested. I understood my identity as a child of God and of true parents. I understood that, in their hearts, I am loved, I am worthy, I am accepted. And so the next time I go to the Manhattan Center and they say, where's your ticket? I'm just going to say, my dad owns the place, guys. So, you know what time it is? It's time to practice. So I want everybody to, again, stand up. And if we could, Dorian, if you could turn off the lights. We're going to do another praise session. And I want you to remember, you can stand up. Remember faith and action. When you feel that feeling of tension, of fear, anxiety, that's that fear of being rejected, realize that you're feeling that fear and trust God and listen to the song and accept them in your heart. Let your body be an expression of you, the gift that you are. Give your all, and you will see how that when you give your all, your gift will be appreciated. Your offering will be appreciated, and it will contribute to the overall experience right here with your brothers and sisters. We thank you so much for this amazing, amazing day, this life that we get to live, Heavenly Parents. God, you are the liberator. When we trust you, we can be free. Free to be ourselves. Free to share our gifts, share our love with those around us, with our brothers and sisters, Heavenly Parents. I want to thank you so much for freeing us
for showing us the pathway to freedom and happiness and peace and joy. Father, you proclaimed that we would live in that world, that we would live in that world of peace, that world of freedom, where we could be completely free from our chains, the chains of fear, the fear of rejection. God, we know that you are opening up the door now in ways that we cannot imagine, the ways that we cannot understand fully. But we can feel it in our hearts that the doors are being opened, that the kingdom is manifesting in this world. God, let us be a part of that. Let us be a part of that. Let us be blessed by that. Let us make it to the promised land and enjoy it with you, God, and our true parents. We thank our true mother so much. She is leading the way. Sometimes we don't fully understand the revelations that she brings, but she is sowing the fruits of her spirit and her love. And I pray that the whole world can come to look at those fruits and understand the truth of who she is and who our true Father is and who our Heavenly Parent is. And all of us as sons and daughters, beloved sons and daughters, worthy sons and daughters of you, our Heavenly Parent. We thank you for loving us regardless of our worthiness, our external worthiness, our actions. You choose to love us because your heart is so vast like that. God, there's nothing that we can do to fully repay that love. But God, I pray that we can move forward and that we can really give of our heart to you. We thank you so much for this day. Thank you for this life. Thank you for our families, for our spouses. They are the ones that you put in our life to give us love, to substantialize your love. Thank you for them. Thank you for their smiles. Thank you for their embraces. Thank you for their kind words. Their lessons that they taught us. You're working in so many ways right now. We love you. We're with you. And we offer all of this in all of our names and in my name, Justin Kazukamoto, the Blessed Your family. Adieu. You can be seated.
Let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, no, I think once again, really amazing. Really, yeah, just the spirit, the power, the emotion, what we could gain. I'm sure we all gained so much. Just this understanding of what exactly we can give, what our unique skill set is, what we can give, share God's love in our own unique way, and really trust and believe in that. And don't care if, yeah, maybe the first few times you get rejected, but you keep going and you don't be too harsh on yourself. I take care of fundraising captains on GPA, and they just started. They're 3 weeks in, and the biggest issue that they have is they just beat themselves up. They have zero patience for themselves. As they mess up, they tear themselves down. It's crazy, but they all are the same in this aspect. It doesn't matter who they are or what they've come from. They have zero patience in their just ability to, or just to grow and be okay with, hey, I'll make a few mistakes. And I think we do this to ourselves. We are often our worst critic. So yeah, definitely take some time. It's all right if you do mess up. Just go at it again, and yeah, just keep going. And I think it's so beautiful, and then we can all help out this amazing community in our own unique way. And if none of us gained anything else as long, we all know now how to get to the Hammerstein for free, which is going to be great. For Uncle Marcus, he's going to be getting a lot of emails from this community all of a sudden. Hey, I'm just saying, guys, you know, perfect date place. No, I'm just kidding. It was a great story. But yeah, so let us all rise and let's sing all one last song together.
It's a pity you didn't get to meet them. Now that would have been great. Come, let's go meet the band. Yeah, that would be great. So let's close by singing the song Tongil. Song of Unity.
별에 쌓이는 통일 이 나라 사는데 통일이어서 통일이어라 Our cherished hopes are for unity Even our dreams are for unity. We'll give our lives for unity. Along unity.
Take everybody's hand. Let's take your hand. Put it up in the air.
Unity saving nations. Come here quickly. Along unity.
Aren't you? Amen. Thank you and have a great week, everybody.
Also, if you do want to give those cards to me and let me know how you want to contribute, please just come up. You can just come up to the front and put it on the podium. That would be great. Yeah, so thank you and enjoy lunch. Oh yeah, write your name if you haven't written your name on it. That'd be great.